My name is Jay Kwan. I'm a programmer. I've been in Silicon Valley for 11 years, and we've been building blockchain infrastructure for 4 years now. And we believe we have the best, and we believe that we have the answer to blockchain scalability. It all starts with connecting blockchains together, but first I want to talk about the context of where the technology is today. So today, blockchains like Bitcoin and Ethereum are like computers that can't talk to each other. They're like PCs before the internet, right? Okay, so to connect these blockchains together, which is really the solution to scaling, first we need a secure consensus algorithm that is not proof of work. So Bitcoin uses proof of work mining to come to consensus, but that's not amenable to scaling for a variety of reasons. Well, luckily, ever since the 60s and 70s, there had been research funded by DARPA for the purpose of missile defense, for Byzantine fault tolerance of military applications that are public, that can actually be applied for securing blockchains. And here's a list of some papers that are relevant. And the one that is especially relevant is the second one. And that's the paper from which Tendermint was derived. It's also the paper from which families of BFT algorithms like PBFT was derived, which IBM uses for its technology. It's also relevant for Hyperledger. So Tendermint is an open source and free blockchain engine. It's an alternative to proof of work, and it can be used to create any kind of blockchain. It's more general than Ethereum in the sense that, well, with Ethereum, you have to program in Solidity or use the EVM. But with Tendermint, you can program your blockchain application in any language because Tendermint is agnostic to the application. It's agnostic to the state machine. You provide the logic of your application, connect it to Tendermint, and that is your blockchain. It's got some fantastic properties. So in Bitcoin, proof of work, it requires about an hour of mining in order to fully confirm a transaction to finality. This is necessarily slow because it requires continuous expenditure of energy and proof of energy expenditure during that time to come to consensus, to come to a secure conclusion that this transaction is immutable. Well, it's not really immutable. It's just somewhat immutable with some kind of financial guarantee, because to attack it would require at least an hour's worth of energy expenditure. But with BFT, with Tendermint, you can come to consensus without any kind of energy expenditure. All you need is public-private key pairs, some cryptography. So imagine instead of Bitcoin miners, you have computers that have pseudonymous identities, cryptographic identities, and they all gossip and come to consensus through communication. That's how it works. And it's really fast. So instead of an hour, it only takes 3 to 5 seconds in a global network to come to consensus. And every block is final, and it does not fork. All right, so now I'm going to talk about Cosmos. Cosmos is an internet of blockchains. It's blockchains connected via a technology that I'll talk about in a bit. But what Cosmos does is it connects many disparate sovereign blockchains together so that they are interoperable. And here's an example of how it works. If anyone is familiar with banking, I'm sure this is going to be familiar. So imagine a blockchain to be a bank, right? So that bank has many users, so that might be Bitcoin with many user accounts. One of the accounts could actually be represent another kind of bank, right? So this is how the Bitcoin sidechains paper works. So if you wanted to send coins from one blockchain to another, this is how it would work. First, you would send your coins to the other bank's account, and then there would be some kind of communication between the two blockchains or banks, and new coins would be issued on the other bank with a record that it came from that other bank, and then you would give the coins to the other user. So this is a transfer of tokens using two-way pegging or fully backed pegging, as we say it in the cryptocurrency land, moving coins from one blockchain to another. without an exchange of the kind of token. So we're not talking about exchanging Bitcoins for Ether, right? We're talking about moving fully back to Bitcoins from one blockchain to another. This is just an image that kind of shows the context of this technology. So Bitcoin is one blockchain, and side chains might connect to it to extend the functionality of Bitcoin. But in the future, we're going to see a network of blockchain hubs. And the Cosmos hub is going to be one of them. The applications and the use is pretty clear. First and foremost, it has to do with interoperability. So whether you have a private chain or a public chain or Bitcoin or Ethereum or what have you, you can connect those blockchains to the Cosmos hub and share logic. So for example, if you wanted to move your Bitcoins, two-way peg them, so fully back them, right, through the Cosmos hub, and you can move them to an Ethereum blockchain and use it in a smart contract. So you can actually, using this technology, move your Bitcoin tokens to an Ethereum smart contract and use it for whatever purpose that smart contract is programmed for. You can't do this today without something like Cosmos. The primary application and use case for this technology this year is going to be Ethereum scaling. So if you look at the transaction volume of Bitcoin and Ethereum, what we see is that application transactions like CryptoKitties is what's driving usage of Ethereum. But on the other hand, Ethereum is a single chain and it doesn't scale. So what we can do with Cosmos is connect many Ethermint or Ethereum blockchains around the Cosmos hub and thereby scale the Ethereum smart contract system. And of course, another application of this tech is supporting distributed exchanges. So today, the biggest security vulnerability in all of this is probably exchanges, because most people leave their coins in a centralized exchange where custody is held by a single entity. With using the Cosmos hub, there's no longer a single point of failure. Custody of the coins is held in a distributed way via the Cosmos hub validators. So we started by solving proof of stake. And Tendermint is essentially a kind of proof of stake engine, and Cosmos proof of stake builds upon Tendermint. We have a staking token called the Atom. It's kind of like a virtualized Bitcoin miner. There's delegation as well, so you can delegate your Atom tokens to any other validator. And there's real skin in the game. So when you delegate to a validator who does something wrong, you're going to lose your staking tokens. Of course, Atom holders, the stakeholders of the Cosmos hub, can also participate in governance. So what the blockchain ecosystem is lacking today is a proper governance mechanism to deal with various contingencies. And the Cosmos hub is designed with governance in mind. So that's Cosmos. We're going to help scale the crypto ecosystem. A lot of people are waiting for us to deliver our solution. And when we do, which will happen in about 2 months or so, we're going to see real innovation happening, real scaling happening. We've been working on this for 4 years, and we're not going to stop until blockchains scale just as well as Visa. Thank you. Any questions?
What are your thoughts on the Blockchain Interoperability Alliance and the purpose of this alliance in the long run?
I'm sorry, what is the question? What is the purpose of?
So other projects, interoperability has been a very hot topic lately. So you have Icon, you have WangChain, you have Polkadot, all sort of trying to achieve the same thing. Mm-hmm. And the intercommunication between these blockchains follows certain patterns. And because everyone's sort of trying to solve the same problem, there's been some alliances that have been made. Is that something that Cosmos is considering joining?
Well, alliances are okay, but when it comes to what will actually make this happen, well, we were the first to publish the white paper, the Cosmos white paper, in late 2016. So we were first to publish anything to do with inter-blockchain communication before any of the projects that you mentioned, and some of those actually just blatantly copy us.
Yeah.
So, you know, that you can make alliances, but in terms of technology, everyone knows that we are leading the way.
Yeah, I agree with that.
All right, thank you. We have a booth downstairs. Please come contact us if you have any further questions. Thank you.